Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're looking at this awesome little carousel, and we're using the absolutely free plugin Divi Brain Addons from brainaddons.com here. I'll put this link below the video. Just go to this link, hit the download free button, download it, install and activate it. And these carousels are absolutely fantastic. This is only one of the few features that the Brain Addons has. And here we've got one where I've got an overlay and a little icon. Click on it, it'll pop out into a nice little light box using a bit of pagination there. Down below I've got another one here that's got the titles and subtitles underneath there, and I've got some navigation on here for going left and right. And again, I'm using a lightbox effect on that. And down below here, I've got a vertical slider with a highlight effect with a bit of pagination on the bottom. I'm not using a lightbox effect on this purely because it's so large. And I've got a little overlay color going on there. Okay, well, let's get started. Go to a new page. Use a Divi builder, obviously. And build from scratch. I'm going to use a row with a single column. Divi are all the light grey modules here, and there's plenty of them to build just about any sort of site. If you install WooCommerce, you get another dozen or so to help display your products. Light blue ones here are all the ones you get with the free Brain Addons, and there's some fantastic modules here for a free plugin. There really are. Okay, there it is, Brain Image Carousel. That's what we're going to use today. So the first thing it's going to prompt you to do is add an item. I'm going to click on the Content tab once I've clicked the Add an Item and upload an image. Okay, and there it is. It's put our little image in there for us. Before we start adding more images, let's go in and decide what we want to do with this. I think I'd like to have this as a normal, perhaps that first one that we had, which was full width with an overlay and the text up here. So what you want to do, you want to organize that all first before you start adding more slides, because you want to style the first slide the way that you want the others to look. So down below we've got image alt text. Alt text should be used for image description, really. It's for sight impaired people that have screen readers will tell them what they're looking at on the screen, but a lot of people use it for keywords and geolocation data and what have you. That's entirely up to you. Put in your title and whatever subtitle you want. And as you can see, it's plonked it down there on the left hand side. Go into link, like anything else, you can have it linked to anywhere you want. And as a general rule, if you're linking to your own site, keep it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somewhere else, put it in a new tab so your site stays open. I don't want to put a background in there. You can put one in if you wish. And you can style that and have your image on top like little cars if you want to. But I don't particularly want that today for what I'm going to do. Okay, let's move on to our design tab. Now here's our image options. You can give it a fixed height if you've got images of different heights. That's a great idea. Mine I think are all the same height, so I'm going to leave that just as it is. Now here we've got image hover or animation. At the moment it's doing nothing. You've got a lot to choose from here. Let's try zoom in. There you go. Nice little zoom in effect. Now if we move down, here's our overlay. Now you can choose a background color or a gradient here. Let's just use the color for expediency, and I'll put in a purple. But I want to see a little bit of our image through it, so I'm going to drag the opacity down a little bit. There we go, something like that. And I only really want to show it on hover, so let's hit this to show it on hover. That way it's only going to show when we hover. And you may ask, why do I even want to put that on there? Well, I'm going to put my text up here in a little icon and let people open this in a lightbox. And if we look down below, here's a hover speed. I want that to come in perhaps a little bit slower. That's pretty quick, 300 mils, which is the default for the Divi theme. So I'm going to up mine to say 800. And we'll put a little icon here like a magnifying glass or something like that, whatever makes sense to you. There we go. Down below we can choose the color of the icon and the size. I want mine about half the size it's got there, so let's try 16. Now just put in the number, it'll put in the pics for you. There we go, that's fine, absolutely fine. Icon opacity, that's the sort of see-throughness, if you will. One is fully visible and increments 0.9 downwards at various stages of see-throughness until 0 is absolutely transparent, you won't see it at all. Okay, content. That's our content right there. You can have it left, middle, right. You can choose the width for it if you want to. You can put it on the bottom or the top. Let's just put this back in the middle. I want it in the middle. Or, this is what I like. Instead of having it either top or bottom, you can choose to have it absolutely positioned and it's in the middle right there. Fantastic. But I don't want it in the middle. Let's have it horizontally. In the middle is fine, but vertically I want it on the bottom. There we go, it's on the bottom there, but I'm going to change the color obviously so we can see it. You can give it padding to change it and give it a background if you want to make it stand out even more. Title and subtitle. Here we can give it a color, style it. We're on the title at the moment. You can choose what size heading to put it, or what power heading to put it. Divi comes with a ridiculous amount of fonts. There literally are hundreds and hundreds of them. If you hover over one, it'll show you an example of it. I'm going to stick to the defaults for simplicity. Let's make the title semi-bold and capitalize it and make it white so we can see it. There we go. I'll take it down a little bit in size. Let's say make it 14 pixels. Let's go up and do similar to the subtitle. Again, I'll make it white and I'll make it say 12 pixels. Obviously styling is completely up to you. There we go, and we've got our nice little hover overlay with the little icon that's going to let them pop out into a light box, but we haven't actually told it to pop out into a light box yet. We'll be doing that in a minute. Border, spacing, filters, transform is fine. Okay, if you're happy with your first slide here, we can go ahead and duplicate. So let's save this, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. Little 2 squares there, I'm just left clicking on it to duplicate. And I've got about 6. Simply going to go in. Obviously you're going to have different titles on yours. All I'm going to do for expediency today is just change the image out. So we've got some variation going on there. Do that one. Now I think we've got one more. I may have missed one. Doing this kind of quickly. There we go. And as you can see, it's automatically going. We've got some navigation going on here. So let's now go into our actual carousel settings. themselves. I'm still in the item, so just save your item. It'll go back to the main brain image carousel box here. Let's go into the carousel settings. For the general animation speed, that's the time it takes this one to get to here, which is 700 mils. That's okay. Autoplay wise, yes, I want it to autoplay. Speed, it's a little bit quick for me at the moment, so it's 2 seconds or 2000 milliseconds. I'm going to up mine to 3000 or 3 seconds. Use navigation. I'm going to turn that off because I'm going to make mine full width and have a bit of pagination instead. So here's the pagination. Let's turn that on. And there we go, that's our little dots underneath there. Don't need to use a fixed width slide because all of mine are pretty much the same width, so I'm happy with that. Number of slides to show. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 5. Odd number will give me one in the middle all the time, and I'm going to extend this row so it's full width. Slide spacing, at the moment there's 10 pixels in between. That's fine for me at the moment. Obviously you can up down it if you want to. Either slide, type in a value, and you can fine tune with the little arrows right there. Now we can apply spacing on the first and last item, which will give us a bit of space left and right. So I'm going to leave that to yes. I want it to infinitely loop. That means it's going to keep going around. If you switch that off, once it gets to the last slide it'll stop. I'm not going to put a background in because I'll use that on the actual section or row I'm in itself. Okay, well let's move on to our design tab. Now navigation we're not using, we just took that off, but that's the little arrows there. And you can style left and right individually. You can put different icons in from the Elegant Themes icon set here. They've got various different types, type A and type B. And you can set height, width, icon size, color and background. But like I say, we're not using those, so that's pretty irrelevant for this. Pagination, we are using pagination. Okay, dot, that's fine, or you can have numbers if you want to and it'll count through. I'm happy to have the dots though. And let's change the color. Okay, height is fine, width is fine. They're round at the moment. If you want them square, just put a 0 in here. Like all the border radius settings with Divi. Just put in the number, it'll put in the pics for you. If you've got that chain linked, it'll do all 4 corners at once for you. So we got little square ones there, that's fine. Vertical position, you can put it up or down. If you want to drag it a little bit closer, whoops, a little too high, you can have it on the top if you want to. I'm going to leave mine about there. Spacing in between, I'm leaving that as it is, that's absolutely fine with me. Okay, sizing, spacing, box shadow and filters, I'm not going to put any of that on there. Like I said, I'm going to save this and just make it full width. But I do want to go in to our advanced settings. Let's go to our content. Let's go to our carousel settings. We'll go to our advanced settings here. Now you've got CSS transition types, ease in, ease out. That's how it sort of, when you hover over it, sort of eases into that. There's a couple of different variants. They'll work slightly differently. Check them out for different effects. They're fairly subtle. Swipe I'll leave on, that's great for tablets and things like that. Number of items to scroll, it's scrolling 1 at a time at the moment, which is absolutely fine for me. Vertical mode, if you wanted to create a vertical slider like I had on that other page, I've not got it open here, just flip that to on and suddenly we've got a vertical one, which is great, but I'm happy to have mine horizontal. Center mode, if I had perhaps 4 slides instead of 5, you put center mode on and it'll make sure there's one in the middle all the time. But as I've got 5 in there, it's going to work that way anyway. Wait for animate. Well, it wants to wait for the images to load before it starts animating, that's fine. You can put a custom cursor type in here if you wish when you're hovering over it. I'm happy to leave mine just as. Wrapper space top and bottom is the amount of space we've got up and below. And here's open image in Lightbox. I want to do that. There we go. Now the other option is when we actually put the images in themselves, you could have put a link in right here. Now I don't think you want to do both link and open in Lightbox, so that's why I've left that blank there. Okay, we're in pretty good shape. All I'm going to do is just make this thing full width and we're going to call it done. And to make it full width, I'm just going to go into the row, green tab, going to go to design, sizing, going to pull the width all the way up to 100%, going to copy the 100%, Control C, and paste it in the max width just below, Control V, or you can type it in if you prefer. And there we go, we've got a nice full width slider. Let's save this and make sure everything's going to work. Save the page changes, save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit. Okay, well there it is. It's starting to animate now. When we hover over it, it's going to show us our little image, coloured overlay there, and our little icon. We can click on it, pop it out into a Lightbox, click anywhere outside, and we're back to where we are. And that's a lovely little feature to have on your site. You can use that for all kind of things, products, anything like that at all. And for a free add-on, or a free plugin I should say, I really am blown away by this. So it's Divi Brain Add-ons. Like I say, I'll put this link below the video. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.